So if you haven't made yourself an ideas journal yet, make one. These are so much fun. It's like it takes the pressure off you when you make one of these, because all you're doing is making a blank journal to start with nothing in it. Well, here she is, my ideas journal. It's chock-a-block full of ideas. If you don't know what chock-a-block means in Australia, it just means plenty of, heaps of, more than enough. And we also call this a gator mouth. So if I use any words throughout this entire video or any other videos, and you're a beginner and you're not sure what I'm talking about, check out my junk journal glossary. It's got the meaning to most of the words we use when we're making junk journals. So to start off, I've made a very basic cover. I'll try and show it to you. If this video is not too long, I'll add how I made the cover, but other than that, I'll put it in a separate video. So it's just got a fabric cover, but you can use paper, and I've just put book pages for my end covers, both on the front and the back, and a piece of fabric to reinforce the spine. This is a good way to make an ideas journal, but you could make one with a spine and a hard cover. It doesn't matter what you use for your ideas journal. What I've done at the front is I've just made my journal first, and then later I come back and I added a fabric pocket on the top, and it's just glued down. Like, it's not even stitched in. But you can add things after you've started. So I just put a couple of goodies in there, and depending on what I'm doing, I'll change those goodies out. Now, the tip to making an ideas journal is to use all blank papers, all blank pages all the way through. So you'll see every one of my page is blank except for a couple. And the idea of that is to also show you that this is an idea you can use. So you can use 100% blank papers, or you can use 90% and a few printed. Whichever works for you, because it's meant to spark your imagination and you use it as an idea. So if you're wondering why you would make an ideas journal, it's just so that if you see this on my channel and you go, oh, Donna's made a video on how to print fabric, just do it. Just do it the once. You don't have to make a whole packet full of them. Just print out what you want, put it on a paper clip. So I've got 3 pieces that I liked, that I pulled out of that video that I'd done. Then I've also done a teddy butterfly video. I stapled that onto there, and I put the paper clip on to the bag, and it just sits there. You can put the paper clip onto your page or whatever. These are little printables that I've got in my free section of my website. And this here, all I've done was print out on a piece of craft paper. Then I got a piece of wide washi, tore it, and then moved it apart and stuck that down. You can do that with anything. Doesn't have to be a word. So I do a combination of little clips, paper clips, and gluing. So this one here is a weekly budget envelope that is also in my freebie list. I just used the outline of this envelope to create this envelope, and this is recycled paper out of your Creative Studio box. So one idea, but 2 ideas out of the one. This one here is just a little flip open pocket. This little card was gifted to me, so I've got that in there. I can always see the message on the back because I haven't glued it down. And I have a video on how to make this as well. It's going to take me quite a while to add all of these videos and links that I've done in this journal, so I might just be adding them a few at a time. This is another envelope that I've put on a clip, and I made this out of an Edith Holden page. The window, instead of cutting the window out, I used this template here, And this is in my online shop. So this here, I've used the template. It's see-through. This one's white and this one's clear. I'll use the clear one so you can see better, but I find the page that I want to use or the piece of paper, I put that over the top. There's my window already. And what I can then do is just do a light pencil. So that's my paper. I do a light pencil line around that, and then I'll fussy cut around the image that's on my paper rather than cut the oblong shape that you normally see on a window. So this is a great template to have. You can have it as a flip page as well. So you can do so many things with this envelope template. This is a colouring in book page from the May Gibbs collection. This is really old. I found this in Mum's stash. So how I've made this one, it starts off as a lunch bag. It's a paper bag, so that's the first part of it coming out on this side. That's the back part of it, and I've just opened it up so it can become a pocket. On this side, I made a double paper bag pocket out of the same paper and then glued it on here. So I've got a 2-tier pocket here, and I've just decorated it with pattern paper, a rubber stamp and some sewing tissue paper and a sticker. And I used a stencil there to get the coffee stain. This one here is an envelope, a large envelope, but in a colour. So if you've got some colour envelopes, like gift envelopes, use these. You can just sew them in the top here. I put a cut glassine bag there and just put that there, so that gives me a pocket there or a pocket there. And I've just glued down things on this side. Instead of taking all these off, I'll just lift them up. So this side is the other side of the glassine pocket. I've put a little tea bag leaf on that. I put a stamp sticker there and a washi style sticker here. These little mason jars are in my free printable section. Another pocket and a tag. And I just pop things in there. So when you cut off, say if you're making a tag and I've just cut off one side of the tag, well, I just pop that in there to remember that I've done it. So it's a great way to remember everything you do, because chances are you'll come back in a year and you'll have forgotten about this. This one here is a printable from Tuesday Moriarty's Etsy. I'll put the link below for this. There's some lovely coffee papers and different coloured papers in there. They're perfect for this. And I put a printed vellum page over the top and some fussy cut ladies that I'll add the link below to. That's from Christy Art Designs on Etsy. These are great if you haven't got any book pages or pattern pages. Just use a printable. You wouldn't know the difference. So this paper doll is a fussy cut download available on my free section. I've just printed them on white cardstock, cut them out, and I've put them here in my envelope, and they look pretty cool just like that. So my washi tape there is just so I can make it a flip up. And what I've done on this page is all the washi tapes that I've either received in Happy Mail or that I love, I'll just add them to here. Like, for example, this washi tape here come from Marthy from the Netherlands. I don't see this type of washi here, so I just tore it there and tore a piece off there and added it on here. So just make a whole washi tape page. I've got extra space here to add more, and it just looks good when you put your glassine envelope on there like that as a flip up. This one is another pocket page that I have made. I'm not sure if this is my members only video or one that I can share. So you'll see in my list below of what you can get a hold of what I've done. This side here, I've used oversized paper doilies, folded them and just glued it onto here and made myself a double pocket. So I've just glued ephemera on there, and this is a video that I've made for these mason jars. They just pull out like a tag and go back into the mason jar. These look really cool anywhere in your journal because you decorate them to go with anything else. This is another freebie in my free downloads, the 𝗵𝗶𝐵 envelope. It looks beautiful, this one. This is another video, I'm pretty sure I've shared this one on YouTube. It's just how to make a little notebook out of a very small paper doily, and I just put a tie stitch there and decorate the front. These are little corner flip outs. Well, that one's got a paper clip there, so I'm not going to take that off, but that flips out like that. So they're pretty easy to make. They're just an oblong, fold it in half that way and fold it that way. I don't think I've got a video for that. I would have seen that somewhere. I think it was Yvonne Preston that made this type of little flip up pocket. So you can use it as a pocket as well as a flip up for journaling. Where you haven't got anything to put in your pockets yet, leave that, because later on I might make something that's perfect for this pocket. So I just used a paper clip and put an image of this lady here. And here's another one where I've done this on YouTube, how to line some light craft paper. Line it with a serviette or a napkin. We call them serviettes in Australia. This is just a trifold. So if I was to undo this little note here, it's just a trifold tag. And how I make my tags is I use these clear templates. They're like a ruler. You can also see what it is that you want to cut out. So that's your piece of paper. You put that there and go, yeah, that looks all right. I think I'll cut that out of there. Or no, I want to cut it out up here. So you can see at a glance what you want to cut out and whether or not it'll even fit on your page. So these are available in my online shop as well. You'll love these. I use them all the time. Is another way to use one of those little printable mason jars. They're pretty handy. I've just put it on a bulb pin. I'm going to put that there because I can't remember how I had it. This page here is made from scrapbook paper, so it's printed one side and white on the other side. So what I've done here is I've made a spread to show you that you can still use your scrapbook paper that's got a white back. I've just put another flip pocket here. I've got the printable for this little document style envelope. So I've washi taped it there, washi taped it at the back to keep it nice and strong. This is just undyed paper, no coffee dye on this, just the white grid paper. And I put it beside a page that's got the white on the back. So now everything that I put on these pages are like this. It's got a white background. So if you haven't got colour paper or colour print, you can still make your journal look really cool. This is scrapbook paper, this little purse that I've just clipped onto the edge of the page here. These make awesome little journal cards, or you can use it like a belly band. So you can put that in there and glue it at the top and the bottom, and you can just open up and journal in there. This is just from one of the items I got in your creative studio. So I didn't make that little butterfly. So clipping, you don't have to glue everything in place, just use pretty little clips and that will give you a nice look. And you can just sort of see all the clips that I've used here throughout the journal. This one here, because I'm still on the white paper, I used a envelope. It's just a envelope that I received in the mail. So junk mail, and I've cut the end to make it into a very tall pocket, and then just glued a piece of paper there to make that my hinge on this piece here. So you just decorate it however you like. And what I've done here, I've got some oversized tags that were in my mum's stash. I love these tags. I've got nothing on it, but it could be used as a journaling card. So whatever you put in these really long envelopes, you need something pretty big that you can get out easy. This is another way to make a little flip card for journaling or whatever. So I've just glued this down at the back, and have you seen these little, these are like little picture hinges or something. So they've got a hole in the end, and I've just, you can see where I've covered it over there. I've put the brad in the hole, and that acts as a little swing latch. I open that up, and that's hiding whatever I have inside. I can use that as a journaling note, but I actually put a recipe in there. I've got It's Coffee Time up here. I use my typewriter and some tape. I put the tape on a piece of vellum and then put that through my typewriter, typed It's Coffee Time, then peeled that off the vellum because it doesn't stick real well, and then just added it to the top of my page. So if you've got any wax seals, just add things like that, and it's a simple way to add things into your journal. This one here is a envelope. I've cut the flap off the envelope. I've got a video for this one as well. It might be a short, but I'm not 100% sure. So I've just glued that in, so the back of the envelope, but it's got no flap on it. So that becomes my pocket. This is a little license, a vintage book from the early 1900s. It's a lady's license from England, but this is a replica, and this is available in my online shop. I'll show you how to print it and make it up into this little booklet. It's so sweet. On this side is a tag pocket, that oversized tag I showed you here. I made that into a pocket, so it's been glued down. There's a video on how to make this one. And you just pop in here whatever you want. This is using my tag template again. You can see here that I've got one of these tickets, and I wanted to make it into a tag. So I just put my template on that, figure out where I want to cut that out, where it's going to look the best. In this case, it was this one. And I just then cut it out, and I've got myself a journaling tag that's just a little bit different. And I put some lacy sticker down the side. And that is glued on to this plain page. This page I haven't used yet. This I've just cut off one of my gift bags, and I'll just put that in there so I can remember if I'm working on something, I'll remember where to put it. This is just a page out of a slow stitch embroidery style book. These make lovely pages. Again, there's that envelope. This time I haven't cut it off right at the back like that. I've left the back on and only cut the front. So I've still got this great pocket. And this is it. This one here, this little notepad with the vintage stripes on it and the vintage 𝗫𝗍 label. That's in my online shop as well for a printable. Now the blank page. This is deli paper. I've cut the deli paper the size of my page, and then I've just used stencils. So I've used the colour tea dye in the distress ink and put a nice border around it. And then using a stencil, a different one, I just put that oval there, but made the distress ink a bit darker. So very simple. This is a paper bag that I received in something I bought from the United States. This is the first time I ever received one of these bags, so I popped this in here. This here is another one of those little folded books. I've done a video on that one as well, and that's just using plain paper. This is a hidden paper clip. So I've just put that there and used Tracie Fox's little labels there. That's just my whale tail tab and I've put a plain piece of paper on there that can be used for journaling on. And this one here, all I do is open up the back page, stick that under my hidden paper clip and do that. If you haven't got a hidden paper clip, just use a paper clip. I think I've done a video on this one. Hopefully you'll find that in the description box as well. This is a piece of coffee dyed paper that didn't make the grade, but still usable in my journal. That's the other side of the hidden paper clip. What I've done here is further on in the book, I tried to do something that didn't work, and you can see a little bit of blue colour there. Well, they got water damage on the very edge of this page here. So instead of leaving it like that, I just got a lovely piece of washi tape and stuck it down over the top. Most things that you mess up in junk journaling are fixable. You can see here where the water made the page buckle, but that's okay. It hasn't stopped me from using this page. This page is a printed piece of paper, like copy paper. It's been pre-printed like this. I just cut out 3 windows on the other side. I used one of my vellum pages and I just glued this as a frame on top of the vellum paper. So whatever I put in under here, so if I grab this, you'll see it under here, but it depends on how busy your vellum paper is, but you can still see things even on a printed vellum. This is just plain paper again. This paper is called, this is parchment paper. Parchment paper is quite expensive. When I went to buy some, I was a bit surprised at the price, but this was in my mum's stash, so I love using this. It's another stencil page, just a coffee dyed page this time instead of a white one, and I just stencil around the edge and then put a solid oval in the middle. I can add something to these pages. This is a tea dyed doily. I used it as a paper page so that it just complements a bare page that we might use for journaling on, and I just glued one of my tea leaves from my tea bags on there. I have got a video to how to make these tea leaves, and I put one on the other side as well just to match that up. This is just a little whale tail tab, and I've doubled it up so the main part of the tab is one colour, and then I just put a little mat on top. I think I've got a printable for this too, not sure if it's members only or a freebie. This is a flip out journal pocket. This is in my online shop, and you get the butterflies. If I was to do this again, I would print this out on a photo mat paper to get the brightness of the butterflies. But if you want this vintagey look of your butterflies, just print them out on tea dyed paper. And I've got a video on how you make it up once you pick up your little template to print out, and how to put it on your page. So I've put a flip out underneath it. So there's many things that you could do. And this is just another one of those little booklets that you don't need any sewing in. It's just a cut and fold type setup. So they always look good in your pockets, just to fill things up. And on this page, I've just used a stencil, but in the green distress ink, and I only partially used the stencil. So I've left that there for journaling. This is a little paper feather that I've made, and this class is presented by Tuesday Moriarty, and this is available in my online shop as a paid lesson. But there's many ways you can make these little feathers. I just love making them like this and popping them in my book. This is an envelope that has a very large window on it. We don't see too many of these, but I just cut it down and stenciled over the top white part, then glued it in as a pocket, and you can fit quite large things in there. That's what I like about this one. And this is a little booklet that I made on like a vintage style stamps. So what you do here is once you've made your little booklet up and you've got your own stamps that you've been collecting, you just glue them in. You glue them in randomly, and that looks pretty good too. I think this might be a members lesson as well, but I'll let you know down below on what is what. Parchment paper again in the background. This one is the marble printed copy paper. It comes like that. I did not do that. So that page just went straight in as a blank background page. This is a little trifold that I make. There's a video for this, a YouTube video, and decorating that there too. I hope there's a video for that, but it's either, if it's not in the freebie section or on YouTube, I'll eventually add something like this so you can make it. This one here on the other side, I've just made a little heart embellishment, stitched on a hole reinforcement and some little papery things on there. Just little things like that are so easy to make out of your scraps. And then just pop them in somewhere so that the top bit's hanging out up here, and you can have fun with all this. This one is a double doily pocket. I've just sewn one pocket on top of the other one. So I sewed that shape of the pocket before I glued my doilies down. I didn't make that into a pocket because I thought it would end up tearing. So I've just fussy cut out a flower and I've just popped that into that pocket there. And I love this page. It's one of my favourite in the book. There's the back of that bag, and I've sliced the bottom off so I can use it as a pocket. The back of the deli paper, it's left plain at the moment, but you can see this printable through it. This is one of my printables. If it's not in the freebie section, it eventually will be. And you just print out this design on tea-dyed paper, white paper, blue paper, whatever colour background you want. And what I've done here is I've put this in as a tip-in. Now, if you don't know what a tip-in is, it's just a single piece of paper that you want to add to your pages. Say you've got that page there and you want to add a single piece. You just put a very thin line of glue down one side and then just glue that as close as you can to the spine area here. And this page here was one single piece of paper like this. So I've glued it in very close to there. It's not sewn in at all. So I've added that page in, and now I've got extra journaling space there on my blank papers. So your ideas book is not 100% designed to journal in. However, you could. If you want to write what you've done or where you got it from, you can do that. More parchment paper. This is tea-dyed or coffee-dyed paper, and I've just put some variations of some tabs along the side so I can remember what I've done when I've made my little tabs. You can see them just peeking out from here. I don't mind putting all my tabs on one page. I think that looks interesting. Here's the back of that white page, and here's the other side of the scrapbook paper. What I've done here is I've made a little heart pocket. I found this style heart in my mum's stash as well, so I just copied that. So this is Mum's idea, and she had a piece of paper on the back with a stamped message in it. So I've just made up a couple myself. So if we look at this one here, so you make the heart up as a pocket. You can either make another piece of tea-dyed paper or plain paper, and you can either have it sitting in your pocket at the front, or you can have it glued onto the back like Mum has, and I just added a little decorative corner punch on the bottom there. But these make beautiful little pockets. I have not completed the video for this yet. I have got the footage of the video, but it's not ready to be released yet. As soon as I release that, I'll let you know. So this can be used to be glued in like this, or you can put it off to the side and have it as a tuck spot. These are little embellishments that I've made, and there is definitely a video for this one. These are so fun to make. They're just layers of craft cardstock. No jewellery tools required to make these little dangles. This is again another idea for my tab. This is just a plain coloured tab, and I've put some little rub-ons on it just to decorate it up. These are slide card covers. So I've just put a real piece of film negative in here, and I've used some Tim Holtz pictures in this one and some rub-on just to get the text writing there. This one is definitely in my members only, the printable for this one. Eventually I will get this out to you guys. This is another one of those pocket envelopes that I made using this here, but this time I just used this part of the envelope and the side, so to fold them over so you've got a pocket, and I just tore this flat part off the envelope, and fussy cut out my window like I explained before, and this is Edith Holden book page paper. So I've got the Edith Holden page, just the front of the envelope with the flaps at the bottom and the sides, piece of deli paper, then a piece of baking paper, but in the brown colour. I didn't dye this one, and I just glued that onto my page. So that makes a beautiful pocket, and then I've just added another one of these envelopes where I've cut the flap off and decorated that at the front there, and you just pop that in there. This is a collage style page, and these little cabinet cards are available in the free section of my website. There's 8 to print in all. So what I've done here was I picked up some of 𝐜𝐵𝐵𝐷𝐸's printables. If you haven't seen her printables, head on over and have a look. She's got some beautiful printables. I printed out this frame and I fussy cut it so that the frame got cut out and the flowers remained in the background. I fussy cut around them. I glued that over the top of my faux cabinet card with some print at the back and some lace at the front, and added one of my tatty butterflies right here. That is the back of one of my printables from Tuesday in Moriarty. I only printed it on one side and left the other side white. This one here is another one of my cabinet cards that is in the freebie set. There's 8 in total. I've just made this one as a raggedy, and shout out to Nick the Booksmith. It's her original ideas to make raggeties. They are something that's not actually glued in your book. You just have it like this. You can journal on the back or wherever you leave your blank spots or no blank spots, and just fill it all in like this, and it just sits in there. So when it peeks out the side of your page, you can see all of this lovely, messy, raggedy stuff. Okay, so that's one of my printables, one of my vintage ladies, Victorian vintage ladies. That is in the free list on my website along with that. So these are just those cards that I had. I just cut it in half, move one up to the top, one down to the bottom, and that is actual vintage sticky tape that I've removed out of a book, and I just glued that on there to add that aged look to this whole setup. This paper here is baking paper that was coloured by my friend Deb that lives just down the road from me. So I had to put that under there because I love that paper. It looks so gorgeous, and it's got that lovely crinkly sound when you use it. This is the back of the vellum sheet and the back of that purple envelope that I used as a pocket. And one of the butterflies that I created, there's a video for how you make these butterflies, and I just glued it on the edge here. There's still lots more room to add more in this area. This is a printable. I printed it in the sepia colour on a creamy coloured paper and just made it into the pocket, and I've just used a paper clip to secure that on my lunch bag page. That's a paper bag page, that one. And that's the back of my colouring in page, the back of a plain tea-dyed, and this is, we're at the end of the book. There's another blank page. This is using those lunch bags again, but I've joined them down the middle with some washi on either side so that I've got two layers. I've got one bag there, cut shorter than that one shorter than that one, joined the two together. I can sew this in as a page. That can be added to any journal. So what I've done is I've just done this and I've sat it in my journal here just to remember that I can do that next time I'm looking for a page idea. I can use this, or I can leave this sitting here forever. And that's just the back of my journal, which is just totally plain. So if you haven't made yourself an ideas journal yet, make one. These are so much fun. It's like it takes the pressure off you when you make one of these, because all you're doing is making a blank journal to start with nothing in it. And then as you see things from your favourite creators on YouTube, you just make up what you see and put it in your book. And before you know it, you've got yourself a fully blown junk journal. And that's just how easy this style of creating is. You don't need to put pressure on yourself and wonder, what colours will I use? What papers will I use? Just use all blank papers to get you started, whatever you've got, and then fill it up with whatever your heart desires. Now this video is long enough. Go to this video here on how to make this exact ideas journal.